So the Denver Broncos picked up a 22-12 victory earlier on opening day, and I'm not entirely sure on how I want to phrase this video because a win's a win. The defense was lights out, but the offense was completely lackadaisical. I get it's just the first game and it's going to improve, but definitely not the sign that you wanted to see for Denver. Bo Nix had a fantastic rookie season. He was unbelievably efficient. After the first 5 weeks of the season, he actually had the fewest turnovers in all of football amongst all QBs. But Nix threw two interceptions and he lost a fumble. Marvin Mims also muffed a punt. I don't know how in today's NFL you can turn the ball over 4 times and still find a way to win. But thankfully, the Broncos did. And you got to give credit to their defense. I mean, Cam Ward threw 28 passes for just 112 yards. Tennessee averaged 3.4 yards per carry. Nobody went over 29 yards receiving. I mean, the defense was phenomenal. They were in the backfield every single time, of course, applying pressure from every direction. And it's not like they had to blitz. Denver was so good they could rush 4 and pretty comfortably be able to apply pressure, which means that they're going to be able to have many guys back into coverage to take away that deep ball, which we know Cam Ward loves to do. And all Ward could do was hold on to it and try to extend a play. He knocked his team out of field goal range at one point. There were some drops. There was missed throws. It was a disaster. Once I get the film, I'll have a better in-depth analysis of the game. But from watching it earlier, Denver's defense, it looks so much better than it was last season, and it finished number 1 in EPA. The reason for that is, Talanoa Hufanga, who, by the way, forced a turnover, of course, lowering his helmet and being able to get it on sort of the laces of the football. Dre Greenlaw as well, who didn't play, but once he does come back, he'll definitely make an impact. And all of a sudden, with these additions, including the rookies like Jahdae Barron as well, who I'm excited about for the foreseeable future, I think he's going to be a good player. But the defense is from top to bottom is just so electric, and we just saw everyone be able to make plays. Like Nick Benito to start the game made a huge play. Jonathan Cooper had a huge check as well. And Justin Sternado, of course, as well, made play after play. At one point, he was literally 3 straight plays of being able to affect the game. And it was just awesome to see, man, from someone who was super high on Denver's defense last season. And, of course, they needed to take that next step, and they certainly have. I'm very encouraged by the way Denver's defense played. In terms of the offense, Bo Nix just didn't look like himself. I think it's one of those games to where you kind of just shake it off. You learn from it, but Knicks just forced a lot of balls into windows that weren't there. It wasn't like it was a tight window. It was non-existent. There was double coverage. It's almost like he didn't even see the help defender. And Knicks still did make some good plays as well. I mean, he added 18 yards with his legs, extending plays. He had a couple of throws as well where he was able to get on the move and find the open man. But Knicks needs to let the game come to him. That's basically what it comes down to, is you don't need to try to be a hero. Just believe in Sean Payton and his plays and believe in your guys after the catch, because you've got Evan Ingram, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims Jr., Cortland Sutton. These guys can catch the ball and make a play. And Knicks doesn't have to be able to sort of put the team on his back. There is going to be a point in time, probably this season towards the end of it, where Knicks is going to have to say, hey, look, I got to go out there and make a play and win my team this game. But it's not right now. It's the first game against the worst team statistically in football last season, and the Tennessee Titans. There's no reason for Knicks to be holding onto the ball and trying to be Superman. That's the same issue that happened with Cam Ward, is he tried to do too much, and it wasn't there. And because of that, he wasn't efficient. Now, the thing with Cam Ward is he doesn't really have much around him, and he's going up against the best defense in football. But for Bo Nix, I liked what I saw out of the skill positions. Cortland Sutton, 6 for 61 and a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins goes 16 for 63 for a touchdown. Not the best efficiency in the world. R.J. Harvey had a 50-yard touchdown. It goes to show that, how big talent is in the NFL. 6 touches for Harvey out of the backfield is 70 yards. J.K. Dobbins, 16, 63. He actually had less yards despite having 10 more carries. And, of course, Harvey did have that explosive run, but that's my point, is the more R.J. Harvey on the field, I think the better for Denver. I mean, Dobbins is a very, very solid complimentary running back, but I was so high in Harvey coming out of UCF. I remember I was watching the game against the Buffaloes, and he's just a very explosive back. They didn't win that game, of course, but I just like the way he runs the football, and I think he's going to be an absolute star. And I'm excited to see more out of him, especially because Denver was not able to run the football to say the least last season. So to see him have a 50-yard run has me very encouraged as well. I'd like to see more RPOs. I'd like to see even just more. What's the term called in football? Not keepers necessarily, but read options. Like I'd like to see more read options between Harvey and Nix because Nix can get on the move, and we saw that he had an 11-yard run. Bo Nix is a good athlete, and sometimes it's just important to get him out of the pocket because that's when he's at his best. And I thought the Titans defense just played well. I mean, everyone's going to talk about how Bo Nix played terrible, which he did, but Tennessee's defense was all over the place. I mean, they had chances. First of all, they forced, 4 turnovers. They also had, there was a turnover on downs, which doesn't count as a turnover, but I mean, I think it does actually, but it's a turnover. It literally is in the name. Tennessee had every opportunity to win this game. It's just they couldn't move the ball. Their first drive was encouraging. It was a third down. They ran it, tried to get an easier field goal. It's cool. I get it. But if you want to beat the Broncos, you can't play conservatively. That's kind of the thing. And I'm not saying that you need to force the ball down the field and be super aggressive, but you can't kick field goals and exactly beat the Broncos. You got to be able to capitalize down in the red zone, especially off of turnovers. And the Titans just simply didn't do that. And it's pretty easy to see why they lost. But, I'm really excited about next week's game. I mean, I don't mean to get too ahead of myself. We are going to talk about this game more, and we're going to get into film and things like that. But seriously, I mean, the Colts dropped 33 points against the Dolphins in week 1, their first week 1 win since 2013. This is going to be an amazing game. You have two teams that are trying to win their division, two teams that weren't really seen as a realistic chance to do that. The Texans and the Chiefs were seen as locks. But I actually think that the Broncos can take this division, especially because the Chiefs have already lost. But Denver's defense is just so good to where if their offense can put up 20 points like they did today, they're going to win the majority of those games. And the Broncos offense can't play much worse. I don't think we'll see another game this season with 4 turnovers where Bo Nix has 3 himself and 176 passing, 18. I mean, that's just not going to get it done. QBR of 19.3. I don't think Bo Nix will play a worse game than that. Maybe the rest of his career. That's how bad it was. There was just a lot of him trying to do too much, like I said earlier, and that's not going to cut it. Nix will be the first to tell you that. Harvey and Dobbins got all of the carries. Bidet clearly is a receiving back to this point who's going to pick up blitzes and things like that and chip and all that. 2 for 16 out of the backfield. I kind of liked how Denver utilized their running backs today. They've got a lot of good ones. I mean, I don't think any, honestly, team in the league had more running back competition than Denver. Jaleel McLaughlin didn't play. Bidet, Harvey, Dobbins as well. So that's 4 legit NFL caliber running backs right there. In terms of the receivers, Troy Franklin, what were his stats? I really liked what I saw out of Troy Franklin. 4 for 44. I can't wait to break down his film for you guys. Marvin Mims, outside of that, muff punt, had a very encouraging game. I mean, 3 for 12 isn't anything insane. But I just like Mims and the way he moves with the ball in his hands. And again, the passing was non-existent. So, of course, it's not going to show in the statistics. But once it does, expect a lot out of Mims. Cortland Sutton caught a touchdown, absolute dart by Bo Nix. Pat Bryant, didn't hear his name called once during the game. Again, give him time, especially because, the Colts are up next, and I think that's going to be an opportunity for Bryant to go out there and to make a play. Colts and Chargers next up. On the road, a home game against the Bengals, and then at Philadelphia against the Eagles. We're going to find out very quickly who the Broncos are, and you almost have to be encouraged that Denver was able to win a game playing this poorly offensively, and hopefully they can shake that off and get back on track here. They're certainly going to have to. I mean, these are 4 teams that I have making the playoffs. 2 of them being legit AFC contenders, and not 2, sorry. The Eagles and the Chargers are certainly contenders, but like the Colts and the Bengals are like, I don't know, whatever. I mean, they're okay. They're not amazing by any means, but the Chargers are legit. And the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, so that's going to be fun. And then I think Dallas is going to be Texans, of course, the Chiefs. Like, this is a tough schedule for Denver. But when you have the best defense, that's how you're going to be able to propel yourself over it. But the offense, it's got to wake up. It didn't make sense how poorly they played. I was surprised. I thought Denver's offense would get off to a quick start. I mean, they did have the best offense in the preseason, but I guess the preseason really doesn't matter if you think about it. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below on the game. I don't want to necessarily overreact because, like I said, I just don't expect this out of Denver moving forward. Especially what I saw in OTAs and camp in the preseason. The offense just, it will be better for sure. Bo Nix didn't look like himself. Maybe it was just a lot of nerves. I mean, he is going into year 2, and he has to follow up on an encouraging season, and a lot of people were hyping up the Broncos. But expect him to bounce back against the Colts. It's going to be a fun one, man. I mean, keep an eye on that Colts-Broncos game. That might be the game of the week. The last time these two teams played, it was fun for a little bit, but Denver was just a much better team. But I think the Colts and the moves they made and now having Daniel Jones as quarterback, I can't believe I'm saying that, they're going to bring it. It's in Indy as well. So, yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on the game today, your thoughts on next game, and tomorrow we'll break down film. And then during the middle of the week, of course, we will drop a preview versus the Colts. I'm super excited, man. I'm hyped that the Broncos won. Was very, very nervous. Probably like halfway through this game. I legitimately at one point, a couple of points, thought Broncos were going to lose. But Cam Moore, he's a rookie quarterback. He's on the road in a hostile environment. The Broncos, they just suffocated the man. It wasn't even competitive offensively for the Titans. But yeah, I'm out, guys. Peace.